Yo, what's going on, Donnies and Donuts, cheese on bread? We're back again for another banging episode of the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. Me. Cheese. Anyway, guys, on this week's episode, I have another amazing guest. Now, you guys know I am super passionate about you guys upping your revenue, adding what you've made more from last year to this year and going forward. So one of the ideas that we always have as DJs sometimes is, oh man, I might be at the top end, or how can I make more money, right? And one of the ideas I know I've had at a point is maybe I should bring another DJ underneath me. Maybe I should have another two underneath me, especially when I'm rejecting so much work. That might be a good way for me to scoop up some of the work that I'm rejecting, because at the end of the day, when I'm doing Instagram, when I'm doing all these videos and I'm doing all this work to attract these gigs, that is effort. And however you want to say it, I'm not going to say money, but that's like effort that I'm putting in to get these leads to me. So when I'm not being able to book them, that kind of, in my mind, it's a bit of a waste, if you get what I mean. I'm like, well, I'm wasting work. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, one thing you guys know I'm banging about is having your DJ network and being able to share work between your DJs. But what's great about my DJ network, we're always booked. All of us are just always booked. So then we're still losing. I'm still throwing away a lot of work. So then the idea comes to have a multi-op, to have maybe a couple of DJs underneath me so I can share the work. So I thought I would bring on one of my good friends that actually runs a successful multi-op. And he's going to give us some ins and outs about maybe some things to think about, some of the pros and some of the cons about running a multi-op, just in case you was thinking about it or something that you might be wanting to level up to later on. I'm not going to lie, I'm still in two minds, so this chat is going to be very beneficial for me and hopefully beneficial for you. But anyhow, before we roll the intro, let's quickly talk about the 22nd of February. If you haven't heard the last episode, make sure you save that date inside your calendar, because that's when we are bringing a DJ event training day to you guys. It's going to be mainly for, it's not only going to be in the UK for, as now we haven't secured a venue yet, but the date, I think it's a good idea for you to secure, because this day, all it's going to do is 10x your business for 2026. That is all it's going to do. So make sure you're following on the Instagram, following on YouTube, so you don't miss out on any of the information. It's going to be a small knit group. It's not going to be some massive meeting. So tickets will be limited once they come out. So make sure you save that day in your diary, February the 22nd of 26, and that's on a Sunday. But anyway, let's get into this podcast. Cheese on bread. What's happening? And today we have Dave from Fox and Braces, man. How are you doing, my broski?
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. How are you? I always like to ask that first off. Anyone says like, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm good. How are you?" How are you?
Do you know what? Most people don't even. Most people know, but I'm actually doing all right. This is working. This is coming together. I'm loving this podcast stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm doing.
You enjoying it?
Do you know what? Massively. The conversations that I've been having, the things that I'm able to share, like what I'm getting back from the community more so, I'm loving. Because as you know, Dave, one of the things I think I've spoke to you before is that I want a place for DJs to be able to listen to and be able to get knowledge from and grow their business. I remember when I first started, I had nobody. I wish I had guys like you when I started. Do you know what I mean? But when I did, I never had no one. And the few people I did try to ask questions or any advice, I just kind of gave you the cold shoulder. So I'm like, I'm changing.
I know that feeling, mate. Trust me.
Yep, we've all been there.
Right, definitely.
All right, so Dave, I've got some braces. Let's get. I've got a lot of things that I want to get into. There's things that I want to talk about your history and stuff. But I like to, as you are on the podcast, I want people that have never heard or seen you before to understand a little bit about you and where you come from. So let's start by talking about what is it that got you into DJing. Where was your first inspiration into actually becoming a DJ?
Oh, Cam's going to rip me for this because I always bring up the fact that I'm from East London. I'm not from Essex, even though I've lived in Essex a long time. I was born in the early 80s. Now, East London in the early 80s, maybe I'm going back a bit too far. I didn't have decks when I was like 2 years old. Mm-hmm. But by the time I hit like 12 years old, where I grew up, you were either a DJ or an MC.
Okay, so it was just standard procedure. It was, okay.
Yeah, there wasn't, I think out of 20 lads that I grew up with, that everyone was a DJ and more so MC, to be fair.
Because it was cheaper, and MC just pick up a mic, make lyrics, is cool. But a DJ, you have to actually
That's
invest
it.
in
Just
music.
like, write the lyrics down, come around your mate's house and fire
Spit
away.
some bars and like,
Spit some bars. Exactly. DJing was the more expensive route, to be fair.
Yeah, 100.
But yeah, we grew up, like, I grew up on garage, old school garage. And again, I'm not going to, like, everyone's perception of old school garage is different. Some people come up to me at events and say, can you put some old school garage on? They'll name a track and I'm like, all right, that's your idea of old school garage. Mine is proper, like, back in the day, like, so there was Tough Jam. MC like PSG, Kayam and things like that, CKP. So that was what I grew up, like, trying to get into Gas Club when I was like 16. And when I was 16, to be fair, mate, I looked about 10. So I had no chance. I got knocked back from so many clubs. I had to get the night bus home from Leicester Square so many times, mate. And all my mates, they didn't like, I'll see you later. Like, that was it. That was the procedure back in the day. You didn't get in, you were going home.
You were going home, that was it.
That was it, essentially. Growing up back in them days, it was like, when I used to go out raving, it used to be to, Tough Jam, like, early EZ and things like that. Everyone where I grew up was just obsessed with music, just obsessed with becoming a DJ. And that was where it all started. I got some sound labs. They lasted about 6 months. I was like, no, I need 1210s. Mum and Dad got me 1210s. And the rest is
big shout out to Mum and Dad.
Mum and Dad, mate.
Mum and Dad.
They sorted me out. My mum used to drive me to pirate radio stations, right? When I first got on radio stations. Bless her, mate. Honestly, like, I look back now, as a parent myself now, I look back now and think, Jesus Christ, like, what on earth was I thinking? Getting my mum to do that. But we're talking like the graveyard set when you first start, like 4 till 6 in the morning. My mum's down in, like, Clapham and Battersea, sitting in the car, like the
4 till 6 in the morning, Dave.
You got to start somewhere. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, but wait, no. I know you was up for that. 100% Parrot Radio, you was happy to be on, but your mum's driving you at those times.
Honestly, mate, my mum was like, you'd love her. Like, she's one of them people, right? Nobody, I know every son's got to say good stuff about their mum, right? But honestly, mate, I look back now that the things my mum did for me and my brother, she would just do anything for us. And also, I talk to her about it now, because obviously what I'm doing now, I said, like, like, everything you did for me as a kid has obviously paid off. But her thought process was, well, if I'm taking you to do these things, I know where you are and I know what you're doing. So I'd rather, if you ever wanted to do something, unless it was something really stupid, she was kind of like, I see it as a positive, and, as long as you're safe and I can take you. But yeah, mate, I was only like 15 and 14, 15. She's, bearing in mind, I lived in East London as well, and all the pirate radio stations I was on were in, like, Vauxhall, Brixton and that. Yeah, mad, crazy. Big up, mum. Big up, mum.
Big up, mum. I was even going to say, after this pod there, I think obviously you just said that. You let her know.
I'm taking her on holiday this year. We're
100%, bro, because that is absolutely crazy, fam. Like, your mum, 4 to 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah,
I know. Wicked. And a half long, though, to be fair.
No, of course not.
I'd set her up, and I was like, before I knew it, I was like, yeah, mate, you need to be jumping on Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, obviously, like, months, and I was like, ripping it up. So.
Okay, so quick question. So obviously you said, like, old school garage. All your friends was friends on your crew and all your friends were all involved in the garage music. In that case, I'm gonna say to you, at the time, who would you say was, like, your favorite DJ at that time? Back then,
Tough Jam.
You didn't hesitate with that. That was your
Tough enough Brown, mate. Cold Tough enough Brown.
Yeah. Right, you're proper. Yeah, you're proper. When you say old school garage, you're not mucking about there at all.
No. But then I'm also aware that there will be people that talk to me and then they would say to me, like, oh, that's not old school. I grew up in this era. So it's all
and they'll go even older than that. Yeah. No, it is true. It is true.
That's why I don't knock other people when they say, like, oh, I'm into old school garage, and they start talking about, like, flowers and all that.
Flowers, yeah.
That's your version. That's okay. That's not my version. There'll be people that are older than me. They'll have a different version. So everyone's got their own perception on it.
It's like I always say, like, depending on where you're from, when people say old school garage, sometimes you'll say, do you mean fluff or do you mean old school garage? Depending on what you're talking about, because there'll be some songs that made it to the charts, and some songs it was underground, it would stay underground. I remember when Todd Edwards first got one of his tunes on Top of the Pops, I was flabbergasted. I was like, oh my, Todd Edwards on Top of the... Because obviously we knew him as underground, do you know what I mean? Like, he was making those And he had a unique sound to his music. Like when you heard
Yeah,
Todd,
it still
whether
adds
it was brand new,
lots of
yeah,
it.
still as soon as you heard it, you was like, "That's Todd, bruv. He's
You
mixing
knew that
songs
was a
in reverse."
Featherwood track.
Yeah, that was his style. That was his style.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dave, we've got another one because obviously I know a bit more about Dave, but I want something that people would never, ever think, never, ever know if they ever. Dave, tell us a little bit about your involvement with 21 Seconds to Go, So Solid, Romeo, and all the crew. What's going on over there, bro? What's happening over
You
there?
sure you weren't in them? That was tidy. I like that.
I was a fan, bro. When the TT, you know, when they dropped that video and they had the TTs, bro. I wanted an Audi TT. At the time I was in school, I wanted an Audi TT so
everyone
bad.
did, mate. Everyone. I still do. I still want an Audi TT.
It's still, I ain't got one. I still ain't got one.
100%.
But Dave, tell us your involvement or your connection with So Solid crew, man.
So obviously, as I said, a lot of the radio stations that I was on was in South London. I can't remember why. I can't remember how I got into, and I started on the old school heads will know this one. It was called Supreme FM. It was in Brixton.
Yeah.
I remember the guy that used to go up to this flat. It was grim, mate. Like, it was grim, this flat. You used to pay your subs, you used to pay your $5. The guy that had the flat, that's all he wanted. He just wanted the subs, and then he'd go back and do whatever he was doing in the other room, mate. I don't know. Pay your subs and that. Before that, I was on Flavour FM in, where was that? That was in East London somewhere, but I can't remember. Anyway, so I was on Supreme FM, doing a graveyard set, and then they were like, this guy's decent. So then they moved me to like a Sunday afternoon set. And the Sunday afternoon set was from like 1 till 2 or 2 till 3 or something like that. And then these MCs were coming up after me, and they were called the So Solid crew. There was only 3 of them. They had one DJ called PDS.
Mm-hmm.
They used to come on the set after me and my brother. And a couple of months in, I think it was Mega Man was like, "Oh, do you want to join our crew?" Now, all my mates used to listen to me. They used to tune in on the little radio, and they'd be like, "Them guys after you, mate, it's sick," like that. I was like, "I know," like, because I used to then drive home listening to them. I'd be like,
"Yeah, of course, yeah, these guys are
like on it." But I remember like this style is wicked, you know, wicked. Like they used to do this little echo thing, and I was like, "Yeah, these guys are decent." And anyway, they just asked me like, "Do you want to join?" Nah, it was a bit awkward because I used to do back to back with my brother. My brother's a year older than me, but I didn't ask him. I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm gone, mate. I'm gone. I'm gonna go."
Yeah, I'm gonna go with these guys. They're kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? They're doing their thing.
They were smashing it, and they were building up like on the underground, like quite a big name and that. So yeah, I joined them as a DJ, and when I joined, it was like, there was like 5 people. There was Matt, Mega Man, Romeo, and then they had a DJ called PDS. I think he was related to one of them. Mm-hmm. And then for like the next how many years, it was like doing the they started up that's it. I missed out an important point. They started up their own radio station called Delight FM. Delight FM got massive in South London, and then they started...
Wait, pause there, because I didn't know that. So Solid started up their own station called Delight, because I remember Delight FM and I remember Supreme. Yeah. So Delight FM was off the back of So Solid.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was them. I remember there was a guy called... He was kind of in the background. His name was Carlton, and I don't even think I ever met him, but I think they were all friends. They were all part of it. So maybe he was part of So Solid as like a... And if I'm getting any of this wrong, I'm sure there will be people that will correct me here. But anyone who can hear me speaking is obviously thinking like, yeah, he obviously knows what you're talking about, because that's history that you'll only know if you know.
If you was there, if you know.
If you were there. So yeah, as far as I was aware, at the time, you got to think I was still really young at the time, and I weren't really... I was quite shy, so I always just looked at as a good DJ. If I'm being honest, I will say from the outset, I weren't really integrated into the whole... It's hard. Like, I look back now, I knew what I was. I was a good DJ, but that was it. It's not like we were going out raving together and I was like round someone's house or like, "Oh yeah, you want to come down and we'll go out and do this." No, I used to turn up at a radio station DJ. I used to turn up at the Raves and DJ. That was it. That was my involvement with that whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but yeah, as far as I was aware back then, that was what they started, was Delight FM, which is when they started putting on their... I think it was called Pure Delight Raves down at like Liberty and all that.
Yeah. Flipping heck, Dave, you got, bruv. There's some conversations that you're saying. Like, I'm even remembering names and faces that I haven't seen or spoke to in years. Like, even those just those things you just said there, I'm just like, oh my day. If they was here now and they was hearing this convo, they'll be like, oh my, you're throwing it back, bro. You're throwing it back.
Like, proper old school stuff. And then there was So they started that, and then I got my little intro made by, I remember it was AC Burrell. So I think he's the guy that produced 21 Seconds, but they had a studio. There was a studio down in somewhere, or it might have been Vauxhall. And it was owned by, do you remember a garage producer called Baffled and Operator?
Baffled?
Yeah, Baffled and Operator. You would know some of the tracks, trust
Probably
me.
know
If
their
you
tunes,
saw
but
it,
yeah. Probably, I don't remember the name.
I think it was his studio, but he allowed them to come in and make tracks. And I remember there was a guy called AC Burrell, and then he made me a little dub plate with Romeo was emceeing on it. So that was my intro. Because, you know, everyone used to have their intro. I went down to, where was the place in Brick Lane? There was a place in Brick Lane where you used to get your dub plates cut and all that.
Yeah.
The
record
like,
press.
Yeah, for the next few years, I was just like DJing at Raves and that, DJing at Canada Palace and Lords of the Underground, things like that. And I thought I was good enough to be honest. I thought I was good enough to be there, and it was good. But my feelings towards garage changed over the years. It became like, I love grime, I ain't gonna lie. If I go to the gym or I go for a run, I'll have grime on, mate. I'll have D-double, things like that. But like,
Yeah.
But the whole scene just became about providing a platform for MCs. So there was no more four to the floor. It was all like proper heavy, not even two-step. Like I'm talking like dark two, which I
it was dark
love.
stuff. Yeah.
And then the whole rave scene kind of, I felt like it kind of morphed into something completely different. Like I was turning up to raves. I remember going into a rave at the Channel Club. It was still when you had your record bags. I had my record bags. I was walking through the crowd, mate, and even as a DJ, I was like, Jesus Christ, like that.
Yeah, it's a heavy night. Yeah.
Atmosphere was terrible. Like people getting stabbed and people getting shot.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But do you know what? It's just one thing I will touch on. I remember I was DJing. I still don't have a car, and I was DJing. It might have even been at the Channel Club. And my mum come and pick me up after
I was just going to say, mum wasn't still to car. Big eyes.
Come and pick me up. I think I was 16 or 17 and I was just about to pass my driving test. I was like, Mum, I've got this booking.
Mum.
Yeah, I was like, Mum, I've got this booking at Channel Club. I was probably only getting paid like 200 quid, you know what I mean? I was like, oh,
that's a good rate these days.
Back then, mate, it was, look, I was young. I didn't care about the money, to be honest. I'd have done it for free.
Yeah, 100%.
I will never, ever forget this, right? This is jokes, mate. I'm telling you. My mum come pick me up. I think I might have done the set before last. So maybe it finished at 3 a.m. So I've done 1 till 2. Tore it up, obviously.
Come on.
And then I played till the end. And then I remember coming out the rave, Mega Man was there, Romeo was there, and my mum wound down the window and was like, "You right, Mega Man? You right, Romeo? You boys want a lift?" And to this day, I can't remember whether she gave them a lift home or not, but I think she might have done. And I look back now.
Your mum's a legend, bro.
My mum, honestly, she's like a proper East London mum. And I remember before I joined So Funny, when I was back, like, just being a bedroom DJ, we started up some little crews around my area. And I remember there was I don't know if you know, do you remember J2K? Do you know J2K?
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah, of course. Yeah,
J2K, there's a guy called Red Rum. I think he passed away. But he was actually, his real name, Bomini. And he was from East London as well. He's actually done really well. No, he's an MC. Randomly, I was watching Grand Designs about a year ago. He's on Grand Designs building a house. And he's like, I remember him seeing in my bedroom. I was like, what the hell?
Flipping it from grime to now Grand Designs. You're there building houses.
But what I'm going to say was, everyone used to be in my bedroom, like, spitting, like, mad bars and that. And my mum used to open the door. She's like, "You all right, boys? Do you want tea or biscuit?" Everyone would go from spitting, like, the grimiest lyrics to, like, no, thank you. It's fine, thank you. Cheers. I shut the door. And then they just go back to spitting again. And I look back at all this stuff now as, like, an older guy. I've got 2 kids of my own, and I think, my nan was in the bedroom next door. It was a little flat. We used to live in a flat in East London. Bless my nan. She used to bang, turn that music down. I look back now, mate. I don't know how they...
And you're there spitting the grime. Yeah. Oh, come to your house and we'll do this and do that. Cup of tea. Oh, yeah, sure. 1 sugar, please. Thank you.
Any shortbread with that?
Like, any shortbread. Oh, if lovely. That would be lovely. Thank you. Close the
And you
door.
go back to there.
Yeah.
Because another thing
We'll
was
come
that.
to your yard.
Listen, they weren't spitting about rainbows and like fairies,
Nah,
were they? Do
nah,
you know
nah,
what I
nah,
mean?
nah, nah.
So,
It was a lot of
crazy times.
street
But
life, street life.
back on topic. So eventually I fell out of love with it a bit. And I remember getting a call from Mega Man. He rang my house phone. I don't know if I had a mobile. My mum answered the phone. Oh, Dave, it's Mega Man. And he's like, oh, bruv, like, we've had a meeting. You're out. And I was like, by that point, I was like, yeah, it's fine. And there wasn't any reason for it other than, I think by that point, there was like 15 people, then there was 18 people, then there was 20
Nah,
people.
it got big. It got big.
And as I said to you from the start, like I wasn't from that area. I was never really friends with anyone. I was just there as a DJ. So I kind of knew I was probably on borrowed time anyway, mate, to be honest with you. Because a lot of the people that ended up in that crew were probably all grew up together. And and rightly so as well. Like, you know, it is what it is. I remember getting that phone call and I was like, yeah, no worries, mate. Put the phone down and I was like, you know what? I was kind of getting a bit fed up with it by that point anyway. And I was getting a bit older and I was starting to, I wasn't the most sensible kid, but I was starting to think, bloody hell, should I go and get a real job here? Like, do I need to start thinking about, you know, the next 5, 10, 15 years? And so that all kind of come at the right time anyway, mate. And that's it. I stopped DJing for 15, 20 years after that.
So when wow, so that was a massive okay, so before that, let's quickly go before you got that call, was at the time was Soul Solid already on TV and stuff? Because there came a point when they went from pirate radio, then they started becoming a big crew in South London because obviously we had in North London, we had Pay As You Go, you had Heartless Crew, so they were like the biggest brands. And then obviously South London came up with Soul Solid. And I just remember from then they literally went on TV so quick, and their videos, like the 21-second video at that time, even now, but at that time was groundbreaking. You was like, what's going on? There's helicopters, there's people opening screens. Like it was especially coming from the garage world. So you're saying when you left before that, even that was before
No,
stuff?
that was way before. The only thing I was like, this is why when people bring it up, I actually find it embarrassing to talk about it, to be honest, because I do, because it's like, I don't know. I don't know what I feel embarrassed about. I just do. But when people talk to me,
shouldn't at all.
My missus had a few too many. She's like, oh, we used to be in a... Everyone's like, oh, were you in the video? And I'm like, no. But people forget that before they made all those videos, there were years of them being like all of us, wanting to get in the garage, being MCs, being DJs, trying to produce their own tracks. They probably produced 20-odd tracks that were shit, or might have been good, or might have been big hits. Like on the underground, I remember there was a track called Dilemma, made by a guy called Big Kid.
I love that tune.
Living Legends with Neutrino. People get Neutrino was actually in a crew called Living Legends with a guy called Billy the Kid. And your old heads will be like,
Billy the Kid. He was on Kiss recently, isn't it?
I don't know if it's the same guy, because I remember seeing it and thinking, is that the same guy?
Is that the same guy?
Yeah. I'm not sure it is. So yeah, like you talk, there's like loads of underground tracks that were massive back then. If you could get a dub plate of that, people won't understand. They probably had a part in that, but that weren't in the chart. So yeah, when people are, you in the videos? Why are you not in this? Why are you not in that? It's like, come on, there was a long history way before all that.
Before they blew up,
Which was the underground scene. So you don't just, I'm sure they didn't go into Warner or whatever and be like, oh, hello, we want to start a crew and can you put us on top of the pops? It was probably a long road, and fair play to them. Like, listen, they worked their arse off. I've got nothing but respect for what they did after that. And to be honest with you, people say, oh, do you wish you would have like been able to stay? No, mate, that ain't me. That's
not my thing.
Dancing around on top of the pops, but that's me. That's just me. I just wanted to be a DJ. I'll be honest, mate. I just wanted to be a DJ. I just wanted to turn up at raves, tear it up.
Tear it up.
So the amount of like adrenaline and enjoyment I used to get out of that was it. If I got paid at the end of it, happy days. Like it wasn't ever about anything else other than that. So that was it, really.
Wow, that's fun. That's an interesting story, man. And I don't think you should be ashamed. I know it's probably long, always explaining the same story.
Ashamed the wrong word. Just like a little bit. I don't know, man. I look at myself now, like I don't know, like dropping the kids around a school gate or something, and it was like, oh yeah, you used to be in like no one's gonna say that because obviously my face is completely not in anything. There's a few like I remember telling someone once, I don't know why, and they were like, you're lying. I was like, a weird thing to lie about. Why would you lie about it? It's so weird.
That's
But
not.
then there's some proper old garage forums where people are, and I'm telling you what my name was, by the way. But there's some proper old garage forums where there's like a few old heads are like, I remember when so-and-so was on the 1 2 3 set and that. So if anyone wants to fact check, they can. But I'm sure they won't.
Bro, we can't fact check unless we have the name, Dave. We need the name. I was gonna ask
I'll
you
tell you
what was
afterwards.
your show called on when you was on from when it was you and your brother on 4 till 6. That's wild. That 4 till 6 is wild. But I remember Graveyard. I remember back then Pirate Radio was so big. It banged all the time. It was 24 hours. So it didn't matter when you was on. You would have listeners. If you said, "Oh, this is the number 0793 whatever," send a text in. You would get a text. Like you would get a
100%.
text. If you said you was doing live call-ins, you said, "Yeah, we're doing live call-ins." Oh, I miss live call-ins, man.
I know, mate.
Oh,
I know.
they were the best, Dave. I remember
It was good fun, man.
Deja Vu and Frisky DJ. Oh my day. Frisky, my guy, Frisky DJ, yeah, he used to be on these mad sets. He used to do these marathon shows and he would do live call-ins. As far as I was concerned, I remember
listening to him. He was quality.
he was so good.
Quality,
His entertainment was on levels. He'll play the tunes and he'll be like, all right, so now we're going to call this shop and we're going to do this. And then they'll call the shop and they'll just start acting like, his live call-ins were just, I remember recording them. I used to record them on tape and listen to them on the way to school because he wasn't on in the daytime. He'll be on in the night or late nights. And Frisky DJ. I remember, I'll never forget him for his live call-ins. He's a legend. Pirate Radio legend. Just for the people that are new here, Dave, there's going to be some people that are from our area and some people that isn't. I just want to clarify some things that you mentioned in that talk just so they know what we're talking about. So let's educate people quickly on subs. What are subs for pirate radio stations? Because you mentioned it, I know, but I want you to explain. To imagine someone who's 19, 20, pirate radio they wasn't part of that era. When you said subs, what are you talking about? You said £5 subs. Explain to the peoples then.
It's obviously whoever's letting all these rowdy young youths go in their flat and use it for illegal strip like pirate radio, I suppose.
Pirate radio is illegal. It's illegal radio.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
I suppose in hindsight, I suppose it's common sense when I think about it now, you're just basically the person who says, all right, you can use my flat, but every DJ's got to come in and every MC's got to pay their subs. That's it. So they've probably done it right out of it, mate. When you think about how many people through that door.
They did.
So every week pay you £5 subs, and then my brother pays £5, the MC pays £5. Basically, whoever
comes in that door, it's a
you're
£5.
paying your subs. You're paying your subs. So that was it.
Yeah, I remember when I first.
Basically rent.
It's basically rent. But what was mad, I remember when I first got on pirate radio and people thought like they were like, oh my God, I heard you on radio today. So in their mind, they just thought, you've made it. Like I'm hearing you.
You're paying to
No,
be on
but
there.
Dave, you got to remember, the punters at home don't know that. As far as they're concerned, they're in their car, they turn it on and they hear DJ 247 live in them. They're like, oh my day. So then they think you've made it. But people didn't understand that subs was you paying to go onto the radio. Every pirate's radio.
You're paying to give yourself some exposure.
To give someone some exposure.
And then try and get into DJing in clubs and raves. That's essentially that's the path that you tread in it to get where you need to go. So, yeah, some people trod it. Some people get a little bit further than others. But anyone who grew up back then would have trod that path.
No.
And, yeah.
If you
want to... So, pirate radio, like, depending on who's there, he's pretty sketchy up there as well. Like, I'm sure you've seen some things.
Bro, I remember one time being in there and, bruv, DTI came in, and I remember when I heard the noise, I was thinking, we're getting raided by police. Someone was like, no, bruv. That's DTI. And I remember the manager guy saying, get rid of your records because everything here we can replace, but your tunes, they're going to take them. They're going to take your tunes. So we ended up like slinging the tunes round the, it was like on the window, a slanted window. We threw the tunes out on the balcony, and then they coming in, and there was like 2 records on the thing. I don't think they took the 2 records. I remember them going up, taking the rig. There was a box that they wanted. There was something like the transmitter thing. Yeah. They wanted that. They broke the aerial. I remember they came in like police, but I
don't even think they were police. I think
they wasn't. They were like security. They not. You know when you they came like bailiffs. That's how they came. They came like with a bailiff energy, like. East London guys, you this, you that, you know what I mean? What's going on in there? We're all, we're smoking. There's all kind of stuff going
on the way there.
Probably they're like, no, do you know what? Like, let's not raid them now. Let him finish his tune. Oh, this is a banger. All right, let's go and kick.
Everyone's got on a living, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Let's go and kick off.
There you go.
Oh man. Anyway, that's enough about the reminiscing stuff. Fantastic. That is brilliant. That was such a good and interesting, quick reminiscing memories down there. But we're gonna come more up to the most modern time. So, obviously with the Fox and Braces Instagram, I've been on there. I've been doing a bit of trolling, Dave. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And well, I troll. I didn't need to troll for you, to be fair. Well, I'm combing. But to be fair, I had my questions before I even, because I know you, I've known your stuff before, and one of the things I really love about you, and I think DJ should definitely not copy but take a leaf out of your book, is your unique setups. Like, you've got so much things that you have for your business, your booth, your angel wings, your everything you have though is unique. The love, the photo booth, like everything you have is unique. Is that like something that you wanted to install into the business, or when did that inspiration come from to do it like you did?
I was going to say this from the outset. The love ain't unique anymore. I should have got. Look, you can't copy what I love, can you? But I mean,
Nah.
we're not going to go into that.
No.
Because I think I've got to say it. It's not unique anymore.
It's not unique anymore because some people
replicated that like millimeter by millimeter. Do you know what? Cheap imitations never last. Do you know what I mean? So let's just leave it at that. That's great for whoever did that. But anyway, yeah. You know what, mate? It's not always a good thing. I'm going to be honest. Like you can always rely on me for honesty on this podcast, or in any conversation, really. Like sometimes I think we strive to do the unique things and like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. They don't always work. We might come up with an idea in our head. We think, oh, that's wicked. Like we want to freshen it up. We want to do this. That doesn't always translate over to clients wanting it. So there's a few things that we've done that have really worked. I bet this geezer's going to knock on my ass now. I'm going to ignore him. Don't worry.
I've already done that already to the Amazon guy. I heard him knock. I said, bro.
We can come back later. So yeah, we come up with these ideas more so because I said, yeah, it's like maybe just striving to always keep it interesting, keep it fresh, keep on doing stuff. Mm-hmm. Costs a lot of money, mate. Costs a lot of money.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
And then you think that something's going to be really popular, and then sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So the reason we do that, we are chilling out on that a little bit. We're going back to basics a little bit this year. Was, yeah, as I said, just because when we first started, we felt like we were just like we weren't. People say, oh, you know, how are you different from other DJs? We're not. We're not different. We're just like everyone else. But when we first came into the scene, I felt like we just got in at the right time. We're talking like 8 years ago now, where I would go to friends' weddings and every setup looked the same and that everything looked similar. Not every, but like a lot of times I went and the DJ was playing the same stuff, and I was like, hold up, like there's a little market here for
something different.
Consider myself like not that I'm saying those wedding DJs weren't real DJs. Truth is, they probably had the same background as me and you. They probably grew up DJing themselves. But,
no, they didn't. But anyway, Dave, no, they didn't. They didn't.
No, like I'm not just. What I'm saying is I don't want to tar everyone with the same brush.
Nah, I know what you're saying.
Maybe I just went for like an extended period of weddings where I was like, my God, this guy's not even mixing a track. I'm hearing the same stuff at every single wedding. Yeah. I'm seeing the same setup.
Yep.
And I was just like, look, I think if we do this, we can just put our own little spin on it. And if it works, it works. And if it don't, it don't. And then I suppose where we kind of got that little title of being a little bit different, maybe it's over the years just trying to keep on thinking of things to do that can change it up a little bit and also make it interesting for us as well.
Yeah.
You know, when you're doing this for like a long period, I think it's important to keep it interesting for yourself as well. So you try and come up with new ideas. But as I say, there are pitfalls. They don't always work. And they can cost a lot of money. And you're sitting there with a pair of angel wings that, like, why did we buy them? I don't know. I thought they'd be a good backdrop for last
They look wicked, though. I'm not going to lie, Dave. They look sick, bro.
They're massive. Mate, do you know how much space they take up in our storage facility? Jesus Christ,
imagine.
Mate.
How high is it? Like 8 foot, 6 foot, 5 foot?
I don't know. Something like that. 6, 7 foot. Jeez. To be fair, mate, you've always got to think there's always an alternative use. So, like, this year I'm gonna look at the Christmas markets and all that, get them all rented out. So once we've got something, there's always a use for it. For weddings and events, they're probably not as popular as I thought they were going to be. And you know, you take a risk, you get something built, it don't work. Other things work really well. So,
but I think though, I don't dishearten that, Dave, because I think your mindset and what you was thinking and what you was trying to do is what definitely has set you apart 100%. When people come to your page, and like you say, I think if you talk to brides, they have the same issue, or even grooms, they're looking for DJs. They see too much of the same, and they can't really differentiate who's what and what's what. We all got, everyone's got the same type of booth, the same type of this, the same type of, like, it all looks samey. Do you know what I mean? And some DJs on their Instagram, you can't even see who they are. So therefore, I can put 2 Instagrams or 2 whatever, and I can't tell the difference. So now all I'm going to base it off is price. But I like your.
I was going to say that before you said that. A lot of it now comes down to price, which is fair enough, right?
Which is obviously 100% is fair enough. But I like the fact that your mindset is like, how can we be different? How can we? Because I think like everyone is different. As DJs, we have different mindsets, different ways of thinking. Like we've got different everything. So then technically that should reflect in our businesses also. That's what I think anyway. Because other than that, all you'll be doing is copying or doing just what you've already seen, which doesn't make it much original, and you kind of blend into the sea.
Oh, to
and
be original, though, isn't it? You can't reinvent the wheel.
You can't reinvent the wheel, but sometimes one difference can make you not original, but it separates you from other. It says, "This is me." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
This is that brand.
This is my brand. This is what I do. And then when it comes to someone else, this is my brand and this is what I do. And then that makes it much more eclectic for the customer, for them to be like, I want more of this. Well, that's your guy. I'm not the guy for you. I want more of that. Instead of just saying, I'm looking for a DJ. And it's like, well, any of these guys will do. And I'm like, no, that's
An
kind
example of that would be that if someone contacted me, let's say I got off this podcast, right? And someone rings me up and says, oh, hello, Zach Pops and Braces. We want to book you, blah, blah, blah. And that client says to me, "Oh, we want you. We want a DJ to be like really like we want someone who's going to be, interacting and stuff like that with a crowd and on the mic and blah blah blah." Straight away, and tell me if I'm wrong, I will say to them, "I don't think I'm the person for you."
Yeah, no, you're right.
But I know the guy, and that is you.
Yeah.
So that for me is a clear difference between. I'm not saying that you're a sensible guy. Like I'm sure there's events where you DJ where you don't do that because you think it's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate for the. Yes, correct.
But you've got that in your locker. If you did want to do it, could I do it? Of course I could. Would it come as natural? No. So I'd rather just put that client in contact with a person that I think would be best to do that job. Yeah. So there is a difference there as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think once again, some DJs get scared to do that because they forget that this is how the industry works. Like if someone was really good, I know one DJ actually, he plays everything, and we was talking the other day, and he was like, he loves rock, like he loves headbanging. Like he went out to a concert the other day. The concert he went to, you would never see me at because that's not where I'm from or anything like that. But that's his thing, and I was telling him niche down and offer that, and he's like, oh no, man, people won't book it. I said, bro. You will be surprised. You will be surprised, and then you become a specialist in that. Like you can still play a thing. I'm not saying it's gonna, because he's worried about bookings falling, and I understand the anxieties. But I'm like, bro, if you market yourself as I specialize in this, I can do general, but me, rock, indie, heavy metal, corn, that's my thing. Bro, I'm telling you, you'll have some people that be like, you see how people will hire us for a garage hour per se? They will hire him and say, we want that. From 10 to 11, I want the heaviest, hardest, nichest, indiest rock, and he will deliver. He would smash it much better than me because I don't know that. But I think niching, specializing, uniqueness. These are the things that separate DJ. Because some people, when you speak to DJ, they're like, "What separates you?" They don't know what, but it's these things that I think when you specialize in something, when you advertise yourself in a certain way, when you have certain morals, these things is what separate. And I think that's what I love about you and your extras. One other question I've got for you as well, because this is another thing that people are going to be thinking with your extras, the things that you have, the love, the DJ booth. Do you hand make it all yourself? Do you have a contact? Like when people are always trying to make new things, what advice would you give them from like? Do you do both? Like, what do you actually do?
The advice that I'd give them is you're going to do it yourself, prepared to do about 10 of them before it comes out right.
Unless you're some wicked carpenter, but other than that, yeah, you have to go through the pros and cons.
Carpenter, you can come and DJ for us, and then you can build all that stuff. Like the DJ booths are all built by us because purely down to cost. Like I looked at some of the, like the new white ones, the podium ones. I looked at the cost of some of them, and look, if it was just me, then I'd probably just buy one, to be honest with you, mate. but where we've got 5 DJs, every time we do something, the setup has to be exactly the same. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. I mean, look, I suppose we could justify it. But if you're looking at $2,500 a DJ booth and you've got 5 DJs, that's a terrible quid. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah, well,
always
that's
look at
hefty. That's
that.
hefty. That's hefty.
Yeah, I always look at something and think, I'd be like, hard. Be that hard. Like, it's only a couple of bits of wood, isn't it? Like, I could do that.
I could do that.
Find out very quickly that it's a lot fucking harder than it looks.
Yeah, you might need to get someone else to do that because that's going to kill the bank.
No, it's persistence, mate. Persistence. And then I'm like, go around the old man's like, Dad, you got this tool? I need to make this bit of wood round. And he's like, what, you mean a router? Look, I don't care what it's called. Like, just show me how to use it. And then I'll fuck that up a couple of times. And I'll go down and buy some more wood. We break off these tools, to be fair. Don't tell him about it. Give them to him in a big bag so they're at the bottom so he don't find the broken ones. So that is essentially it, mate. Like, yeah, obviously the neon signs and that, we designed them and got them made. I ain't that, Jesus, I can't be
they look
like plastic out the air. But yeah, the wooden booths and that, everything's made like by itself. And then I'll kind of look at it and think, that would be really cool if we could have this light on that. And I ain't going to lie, mate, it's a headache. That right? Because everything's got to be transportable as well, so it's got to be able to be taken apart and put down. And this, my advice would be, if you've got the money, buy one or pay someone to make it. Because not only that, you've got to think, like, I live in a house with my wife and 2 kids. When I start building stuff, generally it's in the quieter season as well. It ain't in summer because summer's the busy season. Mm-hmm. I ain't going out in the garden, mate, in like -2. Yeah, so everything's in the kitchen. There's like bits of it's like a workshop.
In the kitchen.
Good as gold, to be fair. She understands that it's part of the business, but yeah, ain't like we've got some little like workshop,
a little workplace, like a little nice warm,
mate. It's like kids are having their dinner and there's bits of like plywood and paint and God knows what knocking about everywhere. But everyone, look, it's been that way for years, and once that it's all done, it's like everything gets put back to normal. So.
She's good. Until you're in the doghouse. But anyway, guys. So one thing that I would definitely say is give Fox Embraces page a check. And we are into the whole inspiration, not copying. And it will be hard to copy some of his stuff. Like he's told you, if you want to try, boy, you're going to spend a couple of grand losing stuff. But he has some really unique extras. He's got you've got a couple of booths, Dave, but there's one with a light. There's some that I've seen. I'm like, that looks, that is.
Yeah, the new one was a pain in the ass to build, mate. I'm not going to lie. But I think that looks nice. That's like the white podium booth, but it was a ball ache. It was a ball ache.
It's got like the textured front and the textured podium.
Yeah.
Look, it's a ball ache, but I think once again, that is what's going to separate. Do you know what I mean? And when people look at other DJs or they don't know, they start to get lost. I think like with brides, they just get a bit. You know, when you're looking at 5, 10, 20, I've looked at 30 DJs over the last 2 days, your mind just becomes mushy. And then it takes that one thing to make them say, this is something, this is fresh. Yep, I want this. Because now I'm just getting bored of going through all these DJs.
And the thing is as well, like, it is a reality of our industry now that being visually appealing is a big deal.
Massively.
You could be, I'm sure, right? I'm 99% sure there are some DJs out there that might watch this, right? Who are absolutely mustard, mate. Right. Unbelievable DJs. Technically and with their client, the way they treat their client, like the client care, but they might just have they might not have the money to do that. They might not have the resources or the tools to think, I wish I could have a setup like that. Mm-hmm. It's just, but it is a grind and it is a building process because that DJ could be missing out on X amount of bookings, not because of what they're like as a DJ, but because of what their setup looks like.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of the world we live in, isn't it? Everyone wants to look at something and like, alternatively, you might have the best setup, it'd be absolutely shit and get loads of bookings. So, I don't know. I suppose that swings both ways. I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there like that as well. Probably is, probably ain't. I don't know.
No, probably is, man. Good point. All right, so another question I've got for you, Dave. So, obviously, you own a multi-op. Just give a quick definition. Man. I know I hit the term too. Do you know what? Yeah, actually, I've got 2 questions for you. Just quickly explain to the person who's never heard that word before what it means, and also if you could change the word multi-op, what would you change it to?
Well, I had never heard it until you told me I had a multi-op.
Oh, seriously?
100%, mate. You got to think we touched on this at the start, and I'm not going to delve too much into it. But when we first come into the wedding industry, it was very much like, particularly from the DJ side of things, was like, this is our ball. You ain't playing with it. So we kind of just done our own thing, and we've spoken about this when we've all met up. And thankfully, guys like yourself, Daryl, Sweet Vibe, Mike, Jan Sounds, Scott Jewin, all those people that I've now become like got to know have changed my opinion on that. At the start, we weren't really ingrained in the whole scene. So the term multi-op, I've never heard it. I didn't even know what that meant.
Wow,
I know what it means now because you told me. But yeah, multi-op is obviously running a wedding company with multiple operatives. I would imagine that's what it.
That is exactly. Multiple operatives. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and if you could change that, what would you change it to, Dave? What you do, explaining what you do to someone else. That's what I understand.
I wouldn't change it to anything. Like I never saw it that way. I just saw it as we run a small business and we're called Fox and Braces, and these are the people that are part of our business. Like I know that's a little bit more wordy, maybe more easier, but I just maybe it's because I don't see our DJs as like DJs for us who are under us. I see us all as one business. Maybe that's just in my mind the way I look at it. But yeah, I guess I am a multi-up. Sadly.
Yeah,
I'm a multi-up, mate. I'm a multi-up.
So I think like there comes maybe a point in some DJs' careers where they're like, oh man, I want to earn more money. You know, I want to do, what can I do with my DJ business? Maybe I feel like I'm maxed out. And then, the idea of like a multi-op comes into it. But one of the things I wanted to ask you before we get into that was having a multi-op means that you've got to get like, I don't know if you're trying to fill out all 5 DJs, but you've got to get more bookings than your average, one person DJ. So can I ask you, like, where are most of your bookings come from? Where are you putting in your efforts for you to then have work enough for you and all the rest of the people on your team?
Venue relationships is massive, but the foundations for those were built far before we became a multi-op. So rather than just me and Dan, a big part of what we did from day one was any opportunity, any invite. We didn't pester any venues. Like, that's not me as a person. But going back, look, I won't touch on it too much, but we started like everyone else, mate. I drove 4 hours and done a gig for free multiple times just to get some content. It's a catch-22 in it. You get the content, then you can put it up. Anyway, we got our first invite. Big up the Old Ken Barn. Big up the Old Ken Barn. Old Ken Barn. The original. Yeah, the original ones that the first ever people that actually responded to an email and wrote us down. Kylie Christie, big up yourself.
Big shout out to Kylie Christie, boy. I've got shout out
to Kylie Christie. Yeah, she's like the day one person that actually we was like, oh my god, someone's responding to us. She's invited us down to a coffee. And honestly, mate, I don't know if you've met her, the loveliest person I've met in this wedding industry, apart from yourself, obviously, mate. She's just a good heart. And she's just a really good person who saw from day one that, when we said that we were gonna we mean business here. We're not here to mess anyone about or let you guys down. She knew that we meant it, and yeah. So building relationships with venues is massive, and that don't mean kicking their ass. There's certain I don't want to get into that, but certain venues where I'll always speak my mind, put it that way. So if people want us there, fine. And we are guests at wedding venues, 100%. But there's also been times over the years where I think, yes, we are a small business, and yes, we can't DJ without wedding venues, but, I'm a mud. So at the end of the day, I think respect and relationships are a two-way thing, put it that way. Yes, I think building solid relationships based on, not ass kissing is quite important, because I think people see through that, mate. I think people see through it.
Yeah, I think it's to do it as a person is uncomfortable and demoralizing for yourself. Do you know what I mean? When you feel yourself humbling down and kissing someone's ass to make them feel like you're special, so then they can give you opportunities.
That's not me as a person, and I think we worked hard to build up our reputation. And that's not to say that if we go into a venue, they should be like, oh my God, we want you. Not at all. I'm very respectful of the fact that if we DJ at a venue that's got their in-house DJ, I never, ever would even dream of asking to be recommended there, because I've said this to you before, that DJ, that might be their only not their only source of income. I don't mean that, but like
Yeah,
they
I
might
know
have
what you
been
mean.
going there for 5 or 6 years. You can't just be going into venues every week like, oh, we want to be recommended here just because you want more business for yourself. Like,
Yeah,
that's not right. So we've always worked on the basis that if we do a good job at a venue, that if the venue contacts us afterwards and say, oh, we really like what you guys did, do you want to come down and have a coffee, have a chat, have a catch up? 100%. We're going to go down there. We're going to have a coffee. We're going to be normal people who will sit and, you know, if you've got half a bit about you, you should be able to sit down and have a coffee with someone and walk out there and hopefully they're like, oh, these guys are nice. Like, you know, their reviews are good. Maybe we should start recommending them. That's it. It's common basic stuff, isn't it, really? So that's one thing. And now I can't
Venue
remember the original.
relationships.
What's
The
the
original question
original?
is where the booking's coming from. So you were
So
saying
it's
that
and Google.
relationships is
Google.
big.
We get a lot of bookings through Google. I get obsessed with stuff. So in my nature, it's like if I want to find out about something, I'll find out. So we had a website built by someone when we first started. Probably paid about $2,000.
Jesus.
It was a pain in the arse, mate. Like going back and forth to this person. Oh, I want this here, and then every time we wanted something changed, it was like, oh, you need to now pay this, and I'm like, mate, you swear you only changing like a photo. Like, what's going on here? Like 50 quid to change a photo. Now what I know now, like
Jesus Christ.
maybe I'm in the wrong job, mate. Maybe I should be a web developer. I thought that like DJs got paid well. These guys, mate, they're taking a piss. I'm telling you, keep taking the piss. So yeah, I just one day I swear I was like, just give me the username and the password. I just want to go into the back end of this website and just see if I can figure it out. They didn't want to give it to me, and I'm like, look, we paid you to
We
our
paid
website.
you. How dare he?
Give me
Oh
the
my
details.
days. Yeah.
And then I clicked on this thing, and he said, "Would you like to change the photo?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, just saved me 50 quid, innit?" And I was like, "Well, fucking hell, I can't."
Wow. He was taking the mick.
Yeah, but look, you're paying for someone's knowledge, aren't you? You're paying for someone's knowledge.
It's
So
true.
like,
It's true.
I wasn't against it, and that's the same with DJs. You're not just paying for their equipment; you're paying for their knowledge. You're paying for their experience. So I understood it. Yeah. Then I was like, right, maybe I should just look into this. And like most things, it's like, you know, I'm a big believer in that. I tell my kids this as well. Like, if you want to learn about something, anyone who tells me now they can't learn about something is just too lazy to do it, because you can just go on YouTube. You can watch a 3-hour video, you can pause it, you can put it into practice, you can rewind it, you can watch it again.
Yep.
It's there. All the information is there. So
Everything's
am I saying that I can like, I ain't Elon Musk. I can't make a rocket ship, but I spent a good few years digging about on the back end of the website. I was like, yeah, I think I've got my head around this now. So, yeah, just putting that into practice to make sure that it's all optimized for the big G, the big Google.
Yeah, it was like the SEO stuff and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. So you have to go. Look, you can do it on a surface level, or you can go quite deep into it. But SEO changes like every 6 months now, mate. It's way more intelligent than people realise. You can't just put in like a wedding DJ, DJ.
Lots of keywords and not spam it and
It's
stuff
not
like
about
that.
that. Like, you can't trick Google. And truthfully, a lot of it is down to like social interaction as well. Like how many people are. It's all linked. Your whole social network is linked in terms of your Instagram, your Facebook, your Google. Like, people just think if you just create a website and put a load of keywords in it, that ain't gonna work.
No.
What I'm basically getting at is you can't trick Google. You have to have like a long-standing business that has got things in different places that tell Google this is a legit business. I'm sure there are ways around it, mate, but I don't know them. So yeah, Google would get a lot through.
Google,
Instagram,
you get a lot through.
And word of mouth recommendations.
Okay, so those are the key sources.
Yeah, probably similar to most wedding DJs. I would have thought. I would like to think.
Yes, actually, to be fair, but the reason why I mention it here is because your volume would be higher than your average DJ. So what you say will be beneficial for someone listening, because they could probably focus on. You mentioned 4 things. They could probably focus on 1. Or maybe 2, and that might be enough for their business. But then maybe if they're multi-op, then maybe all 4, you need to maybe be a bit more.
The thing is with the multi-op, we don't have to get those dates filled out. All the guys aren't full-time DJs. We've got one full-time DJ, my brother. So the way it would work is like, I don't take as many bookings as I used to, because I don't need to. And I think it will allow me, particularly going forward, it's going to allow me to get out to there. I touched on this on the video. Like, they get nearly next to no exposure. And understandably, from a client's perspective, they see me and Dan on Instagram, they see me and Dan doing this. People don't realise is me and Dan probably only do about 30% of the actual bookings. The other 70% are made up by all the other guys. But they get 0% of the exposure, which is actually a catch-22. It's actually a double-edged sword. We've created a bit of a monster, if I'm being honest with that. So we, as in me, we have to start doing slightly less bookings, which is fine. Like from a business financial perspective, we can do that. And then we go out and start giving them a bit more of a voice and a bit more of a face for the business. But what I originally was going to say, they've all got their own normal everyday jobs. So, you know, they're not relying on us to get them bookings. You know, if Evan, for example, does 60 bookings one year, 40 bookings the next year, 80 bookings the next year, it doesn't really, you know, and nobody is forced to take bookings as well. When we take on the guys, it's like, look, this isn't a dictatorship. We don't expect you to, you know, go out. It's very much an open conversation. Like, fancy this? Like, are you available? Do you want to do it? So yes or no. We don't need a reason if they can't do it. If they want to do it, they can do it. And if the client wants to book them and is happy with their profile, they can book them.
So at what point, Dave, would you say that you went multi-op? Did you go straight in at multi-op, or did you?
No, I was against it.
Yeah. So how did you go? What was your transition from
listen, mate,
you and your brother to?
If you would have asked me 2 years into the business, would you take on someone else? Like, you couldn't have paid me all the money in the world to take on another DJ. Because it's your baby, innit? Like, you work your ass off to get where you want to be. And I just did not. Like, I thought, how can I trust anyone to go out with our reputation? Like, nobody's going to care as much as I did.
Yeah.
And we were getting so many inquiries, like, for dates where, like, we were getting like 3 or 4 inquiries for the same date, year on year, like month on month, like multiple months. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, kind of Dan, to be fair, like, me and Dan have got a good business relationship. We think really differently. If you had this podcast with him, it'd be completely different.
I'm getting Dan on. Dan's coming on. He's Dan.
Don't get him on. Like,
I'm getting Dan on. Because he will have another perspective to you that will still help my people.
You don't waste time, mate. I'm telling you. Don't bother.
Don't bother with Dave. I will leave him.
But he's a little bit more business minded. I'm a little bit more what's the word? There's a word for rash. Like, I'm very reactive. I'm like, if I get an idea, we should do this. He's like, chill, like, calm down, relax. But from a business mind, he's like, look, I really think we should reconsider, because we've had this rule from day one. Unless we both agree on it, we don't do it. Simple as that. One person can't veto and overpower the other person. We either both agree to do something or we don't do it.
Good model.
It's always a conversation where he's like, look, can you reconsider this? And I was like, no, this was going on for months and months. And then eventually I remember him saying, I met a guy. Like, he's a nice fella. I was like, weird thing to say, but all right, whatever. Turns out he's a DJ. And I was like, here we go. He's like, I think you should meet for him for a beer. Like, he's solid. Like, he's a good guy. And I was like, I know where this is going. So sure enough, I met him. Yeah, he's a solid guy. We nicknamed him the Smasher, because every time he done a wedding for us, like, we'd always check in at the end of the night, how'd it go? All he put back, smashed it. So he was like, smashed it.
Love the confidence.
That was the beginning of, like, I said to Dan, well, hold up, if we're going to take someone on, they've got to have the same setup, the exact same setup as us. So it was like rebuilding everything had to be exactly the same in their profile and their thing, and then talk to them about, you know, the process of the way we deal with a client. But before all that, what I will say, and this will just cover taking on people, right? DJing is like 20% of it. Obviously, you've got to be able to DJ. Obviously, I wouldn't take on someone that is like, oh, I've never mixed before, or can you show me how? No, like, I would actually probably enjoy doing that on a personal level, but from a business level, no. I would not take on someone. He was a good DJ in his defense, but it's about how they are as people. Yeah. If I'm meeting someone and they're coming to have a chat with me about coming on as a DJ, or they turn up late, or they turn up looking like, you know, I'm not saying they're coming for an interview. I'm like, do you know what I did before I come on this podcast? You know what I did?
Go on.
Randomly, I went like that. I put a little bit of spray on it. I did it. I was like,
Dave,
and I was like,
this is not real.
What am I doing?
No, but I appreciate. I see. It's the mind. Once again, it's the mindset. It's your mind's like, look, man, I'm about to do something. Like, I've got to look good. I've got to smell good.
And I was like, the fuck? Anyway, so to my point.
put cologne on for the
I had to,
podcast.
mate. I had to just to like feel. You wanted to feel fresh. You know what I mean? That's my point being.
Oh my
If I
god.
was going to meet up with someone, right, they turned up looking like a sack of shit, late, started sitting down. Obviously, me and you were throwing a few F-bombs in here and there because this is a relaxed conversation. But
Yeah.
if I got, like, I would be so, I'm so on it. Like, if I got a 1% hint that that person was going to be rude to anyone, was going to be not on time for events, wasn't going to be smartly dressed, wasn't going to be doing all the things that are like basic level stuff when it comes to the client, when it comes to setting up, when it comes to being polite to wedding venues. I don't care if they are the best DJ in the world, mate. It ain't happening.
Yo, Donnies and Donuts, quick interruption of the podcast because I want to quickly mention if you are loving these episodes, it's all about supporting this podcast on Patreon. You can head into the link in the description on this video and you can leave a small donation that can really help this podcast to keep it running, keep the lights on, and keep these guests coming to give you all the knowledge that we hope that you are soaking up from these great episodes. So anyway, link in the description. Don't dilly dally. Let's get back to the podcast. So, Dave, man, one of the things I would love to hear from you, obviously running a multi-op, and it sounds amazing, you know, you was talking about the different ways of getting business and how it's all working, and you got the different guys, but obviously these things can, on the offset, you know, come into an Instagram, they might be like, oh man, this guy's doing it well, it's all easy as pie, I'm going to do a multi-op. Yes. So the question I've got for you is please give us the pros and cons from what you have experienced running and owning your own multi-op DJ company.
Oh my God. I'll start with the cons. People, human beings are complex. They're interesting animals, interesting creatures. Now, I don't know if you can remember the bit where we got cut off, but I spoke about taking someone on, right? Solid guy. And I was just talking about, I don't care, you know, someone can be the best DJ in the world if they're an idiot or they haven't got the right people skills. That does not matter. It doesn't matter because I would say, you know, maybe not 8%, 70% of this business is if you can deal with clients and suppliers and venues properly, then you're kind of on your way. You can just be like an average DJ. You probably do really well.
Do all right,
So,
yeah, for real.
You probably do fine. But I think it's within human nature for a lot of people, and this is no, you know, there's no criticism. I think this is just the way we're all built, right? Is that you could have someone on board for 2-3 years, right? And I think it is deep within all of us at some point to potentially think, I could do that.
Yep.
Why am I doing this for that person? I could go and do this by myself.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a free market. You know, when people come on board with us, there's no contracts. Everything that I do in life is kind of like a handshake thing. I'm old school in that respect. There's no contracts. You know, if you tell me, Dave, I need a favour, we'll sort it out somewhere down the line, I'll do you a favour. You shake my hand, that's it. Like, that's like, you know, that old school East London stuff, my word is my bond and all that. That's it. Like, someone tells me they're on it and they're good to go. Obviously, there's a process. I don't just take on any random...
just any guy. Hey, mate, because otherwise you said that if you'll be getting a lot of DMs, mate, people message you like, I want a DJ.
Yeah, but, you know, at some point, I expected that people will have that fault. Now, what they do with that fault is down to them. Some people think, actually, you know what, I got it good. These boys, the way they run the business, and we can touch on other stuff if you want. Like, I like to think the DJs we take on want to stay long term because they're not doing it full time, so they've got none of the stress of actually running the business. They are self-sufficient in the respect of when they get passed over to the client, that is them. The client is theirs from that point onwards. We buy all the equipment. So I'll just say that from the outset. Because if I was going to take a DJ on, we meet them, we go out, we have a coffee, we talk for everything. We come away, we think, good guy, I think that'd be a really good fit. Then I ring them up, by the way, you got six grand to spare to go out and buy all this gear. No normal person's going to have that.
Yeah.
So from the outset, me and Dan were like, look, if we're going to do this, and we want people to feel like they're coming on board with something, they need to come in. Obviously, they've got to have their own decks because I would imagine they would because they're DJing anyway. But to the level that we want them at, 99% people ain't going to have like 3 grand speakers or 2 grand's worth of uplighting and God knows what else. So we buy the equipment. So I'll just get that out there from the start. And But then somewhere down the line, people could think, oh, I think I could do this myself. And people have done that. That has happened. That's happened twice for people that we've taken on. And I don't hold any grudge about that whatsoever. You know, there's no, as I said, there's no contracts. If we take someone on, it's all done on a basis of like respect and, you know, but cannot I stop someone from going out and doing it themselves? No, I can't. And if that's what they want to do, as long as people, you know, I'm going around the houses here, but when we take someone on, they're a good person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even though a few of them have gone off and done their own thing, no one has ever taken the piss and left us in the lurch. No one's decided overnight, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I've got like 40 bookings in the diary. Fuck it, I'm not doing it. I'm starting my own business. Not one of them has done that. They've always seen out their bookings. And I think that's testament to the fact that we took on the right person in the first place.
Yeah, correct.
But that can happen. That can happen. Like, if I'm just being honest, like, it's a reality, isn't it? Like, if someone turns around and tells me I ain't doing it anymore, they've got 50 bookings in the diary, well, that puts us in a bit of a position, doesn't it?
Massively.
So there are some massive downsides to it.
Have you ever had one of the downsides where, you know, you're on the way to a gig, you might have a couple of gigs on that same night, and you've been let down by a DJ on the day? You've never had it? Because I always think to myself, like, if I was to go multi-op, the one thing I think would be the worst would be that. Go into somewhere and I get a call and someone's like, mate, I can't make the gig today. And I'm like, today? They're like, yeah, today. And I'm like, I'm on my way to a gig now. So what I've got to do is sort a DJ out right this second to get there now.
That would be crazy stressful.
But I know some multi-ops.
But we have got a backup plan for that. So we always keep one DJ spare.
Oh, okay. Oh, smart.
So,
okay.
So, yeah, we could take on more bookings, but that would just be, that would be planned with fire every week. Because, you know, like, I'm a big believer, family first. If someone rang me up and was like, oh, my son or my daughter's not well, or, you know, my wife's, you know, as far as I'm concerned, of course, I run a business and my first priority is, look, are they okay? Like, obviously, deal with what you got to deal with. The moment I put the phone down, don't get me wrong, I'm on it. I'm trying to sort out that problem. But, you know, if that touch wood, that scenario hasn't come up, but if it does, it wouldn't ever be because one of the DJs was just being an arsehole, or they forgot, or they couldn't be bothered. You know, these would be like really unforeseen circumstances, because all the people that we've taken on are solid, good guys. Like, and it's not like we take them on and we don't, like, we meet up, like we're all part of the business. Like, it's not saying they're like my best friends. I've got friends that are outside this business, but it's not, we've built a relationship with them. It's not just about giving them the booking and they go and do it and then they don't hear from us. Like, we're all part of the business. Do you know what I mean? And we pay them really well. We don't, I won't get into the nitty gritty on stuff, but I said to Dan from day one, look, wedding DJing is hard. It can be really difficult.
100%. Like, I say this all the time.
There's a lot
we got to take on, a lot we got to deal with. There's a lot that happens.
100%.
It's not just,
So from the outset, my attitude was always, look, if we're going to take people on, they've got to be paid properly. They've got to be valued. So, and then that also breeds a level of respect from their point of view, that, look, these guys ain't just, you know, getting us all these bookings to take the piss to earn as much money as possible. Obviously, we're a business. Our turnover at the end of the year matters and our profit matters. But none of that matters if we're taking on, you know, average Joes and paying them like pittance. It's a false economy. Do you know what I mean? So there are some huge downsides in the respect of, you've got to deal with more clients to a point. As I say, they're self-sufficient. So at a certain point, they will get passed over and the DJ will take it from there in terms of client contact and things like that. You've got more things that could potentially go wrong, but everyone's got backups. Everyone's got, you know, all the things that I've got. So we try to eliminate as many problems as we can. I've always said to the guys, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, and I live by this as well, right? If there is a problem that cannot be foreseen, we're all human beings. Like, you know, you drive out and you drive off your drive and someone comes 100 miles an hour down your road and takes the front of your car out. You can't sit, that's not their fault. Do you know what I mean? Like, we'll deal with that. But the only time I'll ever have an issue with anyone is if there was a problem that they knew about that they didn't deal with. I.e., your USB stick's not working for your backup, or your speaker was making a funny noise last week at your gig and you didn't tell me about it. Oh, well, it's blowing this week, but it was making that noise. Well, fucking tell me about it. Like, that's never happened. That's never happened. And that's the only thing that I would have I would have to sit down and have a chat and be like, look, you know, we're reasonable people. I'm not, you know, it's not like me and Dan ain't like business owners who are trying to get blood out of people. It's just all good. Like, everyone's happy. And I think that's the core of our business, is that everyone is actually happy to go out and do what they're doing. No one's being forced to do it. And you know, we've done corporate stuff. You know what corporate world is like. It's like I do this gig and then we've got to put it through our accounts, and then like, yeah, we do 4 weeks. Like, hey, I've done the job. Like,
yeah, pay me.
Pay up.
Yeah.
Mate, our lads
you got to wait
like,
net 60. Net 60?
No, man. Like, if our lads do a gig Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever, they can message me on Sunday morning and say, I'll ping my invoice over. It takes 2 seconds to pay people. Like, just
100%.
It's done. Take just a couple of clicks. Do you know what I mean? So there ain't none of this nonsense either. People should 100%. You do the job, send us the invoice. Sunday, Monday, whatever, you get
paid.
So everyone's happy. The upsides are obviously from a financial perspective, not as much as people think, but that's only because we pay them well. We probably pay, you know, I reckon there's multi-ops out there, right? I'm going to talk round figures here. Let's say you charge $1,000.
Yeah.
And I'm just using round figures here. I'm not talking about
you're not talking about your own numbers or anyone's numbers that you know of. You're just talking.
How much do you think? I'm not going to tell you what we pay our guys, but how much do you think? Like, let's say you see some other companies that are multi-ops, right?
Yeah.
How much do you think they pay their DJs?
So if they're taking $1,000,
bearing in mind, we buy all the equipment as well, so we've already invested a few grand in the guys. How much do you think they're paying them?
In that case, so now we're talking about, well, it's not plug and play because they're setting up the equipment. It's just not their equipment, right?
Well, they've still got to store it all. They've still got to drag it. They've still got they ain't going to some lockup. It's on them. They've all got their own equipment. They put it in their vans. They put it in their cars. They go to the venue. They set up. They pack down. They come home. They take it all out. They do everything. So I'm not asking you what you think I pay them. No. I'm asking you, what do you think other companies would pay a multi-op DJ if they were charging the client $1,000?
If they were charging the client $1,000, they've supplied them with the equipment and they've given them work to go and deliver these works. I would hope, and I'll probably be wrong, but I would hope that multi-ops are leaving the DJ with at least between...
It's a tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one. I would say, because I'm trying to think of the DJ, but I'm thinking of the business as well. You can't just think of the DJ only, and you got to think of the business. So you
got to think some business owners will take the piss.
Some of them would give the DJ £400 or £350. They'll give them £350, and they will take the rest. To me, that's a piss take. I wouldn't do that. As in, not as me as a company. Like if a DJ company was charging $1,000 and I was taking $350 off the back of that, I wouldn't do that. That's what I'm saying. So if someone told me that's the maths, that's how it's working out, that's what you're getting paid, I'm like, no, it's all right. I would rather class my own equipment and earn and then charge $1,000 myself, because obviously for me to make $1,000, I'm doing almost 3 gigs for you to earn the same money that it is for the one. So for me, time efficiency is better for me to just, instead of doing 6 gigs for you, just do 2 gigs a month for me. That would eradicate that. But I would hope that, your average multi-op company is giving a DJ, I would say 70% of it. So I would say
what I would say
700 for the DJ.
That's fair enough. What I would say, just to counter what you said there, because you're not a multi-op at the moment, right?
No.
Okay. So we're just getting into the multi-op thing. These are some of the things that come up sometimes when people ask about this sort of stuff. Not with our DJs, because I understand it. But what you just said there, right? You've got to do 3 gigs to get the same money that they were charging for 1 gig, right?
Yeah.
But what you didn't take into account was all the unpaid hours that they did to start that business in the first place.
Yeah.
All the money they've invested in their SEO and their website.
Yeah.
All the hours and hours of traveling they did, all the venues that they've built up the relationships with, all the hours of dealing with the actual client, and then it gets passed on to the DJ. So those hours aren't just about the gig. Those hours, the hours that get put in by the business owner and I'm not disagreeing with your figures, by the way. I'm just giving you a different perspective. Is that for us to take one booking, it's not just that 5-hour booking, is it? And then the traveling time to and from the gig and setting up. There are hours and hours and hours of stuff that go into it in terms of social media, the website, the initial inquiry, the response to the inquiry, paying for DJ event planner, dealing with problems on that. Like the amount of stuff, like people, I've got mates who are like, oh mate, you're so lucky. Like you only go out and work at weekends. Like, mate, I'm sitting in front of that computer.
Yeah, all week.
Hours and hours every week.
And do you know what? It's funny you say that. The only reason why I said what I said is because I know what I know.
Yeah.
So I run, obviously, I run my business, and I know I know what I do to run it. So even though I was mathing, I was doing basic maths without, like you're saying, I was just doing basic maths. 350. All right, to make a grind. I would rather as a multi-op do the SEO, do the Instagram, do the videos, do the website, do the networking, go to the places, and build a company and then have the grind. But there will be some people. The 350 is fine because they're like, I don't have to do any of that. No, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to actually do any of. You don't even have to market yourself. If you don't want to put yourself on social, you don't have to. I send you these messages. You go do the gigs. 350, and then. But no, for me it's 650. But
and
once
as
again,
I say, I'm not disagreeing with your figures. But
no. But then,
the
the
reason I said all that is because if I take it back to the first guy we took on that was with us for like 3 years, lovely guy, brilliant DJ, wasn't starting on his own. Like I did say to him when he left, I was like, mate, I hope it goes well. I gave him so much advice during it, and he obviously. Maybe in the background he was getting a little bit from me because maybe he thought about this. Maybe it was his plan from day one. I don't know.
Who knows?
And you know what? Fair play to him. But I did say to him, just be warned. Just be warned that you're stepping into something and you think you know what you're getting into in terms of build a business from the start.
From scratch.
I cannot overstate the amount of work that is involved in that. I get it. He didn't get it.
Did he last? Is he still working now?
I'm not sure. Okay. I don't really keep tabs in it, but I don't want to talk anything personal. But let's just say, all right, then I'll just talk hypothetically. If he could turn back the clock and just go back to doing what he was doing with us, would he take that? I think maybe because we had zero stress. He got paid well. He had time to go and do what he wanted to do elsewhere.
Yeah, his own thing. Yeah.
And so maybe if you just asked me that question, if he could turn back the clock, would he work? Would he just think, you know what, mate? I wish I had just stayed doing it with you guys because the amount of stress and the amount of the financial implications of what the decisions that he's made going forward maybe didn't quite work out the way you thought. But then that's not to say that would be like that for everyone. Yeah. Other people could go off and do their own thing and absolutely smash it. So everyone's entitled to do what they want to do. Yeah. We don't fault for anyone to stay. There's no contracts.
I think the multi-op thing is something that I think, like, for myself, I think I've said to myself not to go down the multi-op route. I'm happy with what's happening at the moment, like the way the business is working, everything else. So I don't want to expand it anymore. Do you know what I mean? If that makes any sense. But I remember there was a point when you remember, Dave, I was calling you, I was asking you about the multi-op stuff and, give me. That's why I thought it would be great to bring you on.
Don't do it.
In a nutshell, that's basically what you said. That is basically what you said. Because
I wouldn't change it. It's like it's worked out really well. It's just to get to the point we're at, where we've got a solid team of people, and we are taking on someone new, by the way. Top guy, but it's taken a year.
Nice.
Taken 1 year to find that person.
That guy, that person.
Yeah, it's not like I've been like out and about on the streets. I know, mate, you're a DJ. Like it's not like I'm.
Mate, those are nice headphones. Are you a DJ?
Go down and get like Chinese takeaway. You don't DJ by any chance, do you? It's not like that. It's just that I'm always open to that. And it actually came from a photographer. I was at a venue and he's like, my friend's like really good DJ. He's looking to get into it. Can you have your number? I was like, yeah, Tim's give me a buzz. Talking to him on the phone, lovely guy. He's just asking me some advice, which I'm always happy to give. And then the conversation turned around. He was like, if you ever get any opportunities, and I was like, look, we'll meet for a coffee. Like, I'm very much of the opinion that someone wants to meet up. Like, you can't close that door. You never know. And then it turned out that he was more than happy to not have to start his own business and wanted to come on board. But I'll tell you what sealed the deal with that guy. He's a good DJ, lovely guy, really well spoken, really polite. He just bought an Opus Quad, Pioneer Opus Quad, the new one.
Yeah.
He spent about $4,000. And he's buzzing. He's like showing me pictures of it, and I was like, I know, unless I'm wrong, I don't think it's got a backup. I don't think the Opus Quad comes with a USB backup. Sure, it doesn't.
USB backup? No, not that's the prime. The prime. As in, what do you mean? Built-in hard drive? Do you mean?
Yeah. So for me, that's like a non-negotiable because that like backups is the biggest thing. So if like we'll probably using standalone controllers at this point. I don't use it on standalone mode. I use it with a Mac. But I don't see how anyone can be playing someone's first dance without that song being on a separate device that can be played immediately. So I'm playing, let's say I'm playing first dance through the Mac, it's also exported to the USB on.
Yeah.
And I told him that, and he's like, "Oh, I see what you're saying." Literally rang me the next day. He'd sold that thing and went out and bought one. Literally the next day, he just bought it. We lost about. I said to him, "You shouldn't have done it." Like, we would have figured something out. Like, but I was just like, "My God." Like, that is someone who actually listens and takes on board what I said. I wasn't even telling him to sell it. Jesus Christ. I think we had a couple of spares that we could have just loaned him.
Like, use this, innit? Yeah,
and I was like, right, that is the sort of guy that I would be happy taking on board, because he's not someone like, "Oh, no, it'll be fine, it's really, really
I know it all. Yeah.
No, man. He's just done it. And I was like, look, just that alone was like, yeah, he's the guy. He's the next guy to come on board. So big up Ian.
Big up Ian, new to Fox and Braces.
Yeah, coming on, mate. You're gonna be on the website soon.
The one thing
what a lovely guy as well, man. Like, honestly, what a lovely guy.
Ian, the lovely guy who just got
nice
the Opus Quad.
Nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I was to ever, I wouldn't go multi-op. I think I would just have 2 other DJs. So I don't think I would go.
Multi-op.
Sorry?
That is multi-op.
It is multi-op, but I wouldn't want it to be like, because the thing is with me, I'm my brand.
Yeah.
I am 247. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if I was to have I can't, another DJ
there can't be another 247.
There can't be another 247.
Can't be a 248 or a 249.
Yeah, and we've got 247, this is 248, and then we've got 249. That's it. That's the crew.
That's a little idea there, mate. Don't steal that.
We've got 248. But then 248 has to be just as banging as 248. Yeah, I just think, I've branded myself like that.
Or you could do 2 for 1, and both of you could turn up at the same time.
2 for 1.
Yeah, mate, that's the vibes. 2 for 1.
The new one, we got this 2 for 1 offer where you get 2 for 1, so you get 2 of us for the price of me, but extra because I got to pay him.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Cool. But yeah, no, look, I would say there's upsides, man, and if you ever want to do that, good on you. Like, there are upsides. There's just a couple of things that can be hard to manage, and what that boils down to is just people. That's it, innit? Equipment can be fixed. Equipment, you can have backups. You can buy new speakers. People have got lives outside of business. They've got lives outside of work, and we all know life can throw fucking curveballs at you, can't it? Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
Then when you've got 5 lives going on, things happen. People get ill. People's families, mad, crazy shit happens in life. So you just have to be aware of that. That's all.
Okay. Well, to close this podcast, Dave, I'd like to ask you one more question, and that question is: if you was to lose everything, say something happened where all your equipment went, all of it, all your other DJs disappeared, everything went, and you had nothing, what would you do in your first week to start building yourself back up? So everything's gone. Everything. You've lost all your contacts, all your Google, your website, everything's, and you've started back up, ground zero, just you, no equipment, nothing, and you want it to continue. What would you do in your first week? What's the first couple of things you might do for your business?
I had to build the business back up, because I probably wouldn't if that happened, to be fair.
Okay,
I'll give you 2 answers.
Yeah, go on.
So if it was a case of building the business back up, 100% back to basics. All the shit that I had to do at the start, I will go and buy a cheap controller. I'll go and DJ at the local pub for 50 quid if I had to. And you know what? I'd go through the whole thing again, because it worked before, so that's going to work again.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Okay,
and I wouldn't be like, I used to DJ. Like, no, it's all gone. Yeah, get back to being humble. get on the fucking grind and crack on. Simple.
Yeah, simple.
What's the point in dwelling on it? Get on
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, I get that.
There you go. There you go.
That's it. Grind it out.
Yeah.
And what you said that you had two answers. You got another one. You said if you was to
Yeah, because
build.
if that happened, I probably wouldn't redo it all again.
So everything got. So what do you think you would do? Do you think you would like would DJing stop? Would you not do the multi-op? Would you go on something totally different?
I don't know. I think that would be. I think for anyone to honestly look, I'm always going to be an honest person. If everything got deleted overnight and you literally had all like 7-8 years worth of stuff that had been built up gone, I think fair play to anyone that would start that journey all the way over again. Like, that would be heartbreaking, wouldn't it? It would be absolutely devastating.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think at that point, I would probably, I don't know, I think I would actually re-study. I'd probably study psychology, to be honest.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah. I ran the market.
In the hope to do what with that knowledge?
I've just always found it quite interesting on top of DJing, like, in the hope to, I don't know, maybe just do something different. It's never too late in life, is it?
No, it's never too late. You're right.
I've always found psychology interesting, particularly, obviously, psychology is human behaviour, isn't it? So I just think, at that point, I'd be like, right, I've given DJing a second batch for obviously I DJ when I was younger, come back, and hopefully this has longevity to it, which is another thing about a multi-op, by the way, which I will just touch on. A lot of DJs don't really think about that. About longevity.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Yeah, later down the line.
So you are your brand, right? So I think it's just that maybe if you're looking at doing this long term, maybe some people don't like to think about the future, but I'll do a little bit. I'm like, well, if I want to still be doing this in 10, 15, 20 years time, do I personally want to be the DJ that's going out, potentially lost touch a little bit with what the younger generation want? Or do I want a brand that's able to transcend over a decade? Or look, it might not, but it might. And if it's a well-respected brand and we can continue taking on people that with the same basic level of like politeness, respect, good with clients, maybe that is something that could be a long-term business. I don't know. But what I do know is that if it was just me, I don't know when do you stop? Like let me ask you that. When do you stop? When do you stop going out DJing?
Do you know what? Funnily enough,
there's a hard question to answer.
No, funny enough, like I've said to myself, I've given myself a 10-year stretch.
Okay.
So
how old are you now?
I'm 40. So I've said like 50, I might tap out. But then I say that, but I don't know what it's like to be 50. I know when I was 30, I didn't know how I would feel 40, and it's not what I thought when I was 30.
Yeah.
When I was 20, and then when I was 30, that wasn't the same thing. So I could get to 50, and I'm like, no, I've still got another 10, I've still got another 5. Or I might pull out earlier and do something else. Or but the 247 brand.
Then what would you do with your business then? Would you just be like, right, that's it, wrap it up?
No, I think it would evolve because I've always been someone who I've evolved. 247 has evolved multiple times.
In fairness to you, you are branching out into different things.
Yeah.
So your brand, like obviously, I mean, if I'm wrong, forgive me if I'm wrong, but obviously your main brand, you are a DJ. But I've always got the sense that you're a businessman, so you will branch out into different things.
Yeah.
And you're using yourself and your brand to move into different areas.
Yes.
So you are thinking about that, and that's fine. And I think if you can do that and you're that switched on enough to think about that, then maybe you don't need a multi-op. But ours is very much DJ.
Yeah.
And we've not really ever ventured out of that area. We've done with all the props and stuff like that, and we do a few little things here. One thing I'm thinking about is putting on events, but yeah, so for us, it is important to be a multi-op for longevity. Whereas, as you say, for someone like you, you're branching out and moving into different things, so maybe it's not as important. And also, there are other people that are not doing it full time. Like, this is my full time job. This is my business. This is what I earn a living from.
Yeah, so
if you're just doing it and you got a day job, then you know what, you can hang up the gloves, you can hang up the earphones whenever you want, can't you? And be happy with what you've done. So, yeah, horses for courses, I suppose, isn't it?
Horses for courses. Oh man, Dave, thank you so much.
Before I go, I want to ask you, how are you? How's your business going?
Bruv, my business is going.
Can't all be about me, mate.
Well,
let's shine a light on you. Let's shine the spotlight. Give you a little bit. Let's big you up. Come on.
Go on then. Do you know what? Yeah, my business is going. Like, I'm not gonna say it's. I've got CRM, and the CRMs are showing me this grid. The grid is just doing that. and it's forecasting because it can for next year and the year after, like 2027. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember there was a time when I would never have a book in 24 months. You know what I mean? Like almost 30 months away. There was a time I never thought I'll be getting booked abroad for weddings, like people flying me out to places to come and DJ for them, which is happening a couple times this year. So in terms of the business, it's going very well. And I know one thing that people are going to see, work rate. The work rate for me, the drive,
your work rate is crazy.
Literally, I always tell people, I don't believe in competition with other DJs. There's no one, I'm in competition with nobody, but there is one guy that I compete with every single day.
Yourself.
Me.
Yeah.
And that's what drives, when I look at my social, I look at it as I need to do. People need to understand, like my brain works. I look at it and I'm like, he's going hard. I need to go harder. That is
motivation. It's not competition. It's motivation.
No, it's not competition. But that's the only competition that I see. I look at it as I'm like, last week you was on fire. How can you match it? And there's things that I compete with myself on my own Instagram. So my profile visits, my stats, my numbers, those are things I'm like, I want to go, that's not good enough. And it is. It 100% is. The bookers are coming in but I'm like, I like the chase. I like the game. This is another thing about like when I said to myself, like retirement, I don't think will ever happen, Dave. I'm the type of person, the game, I love to play. You know, like the business game, the life game, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I'm a player. I'm not someone who can be bought out. If someone was to give me a number that would say to me, this number that I'll give you is going to make it so you can live off interest. Nice. You're going to have like 20 grand a month for interest with this number and you've got that big lump sum. Just like you're okay. Stop. I wouldn't. I remember there was a time, this is when it gets nuts, yeah. I remember there was a time, Dave, I used to play the lottery years ago, but I stopped because I said to myself, if I win, that's going to pull me out the game. And I said, no. Yeah.
I don't think it would. I think you would see that money as an opportunity to build.
I would probably do more with it. Yeah, I would just go a bit more. But
you won't just sit on the beach and be like, oh,
nah, I can't be like, the idea of retiring for me is a scary thought. Even though some people is a dream.
You want to take up golf, mate. That's what you want to do. Ain't so scary then.
Yeah, in that case, I'll be taking up golf. I'll be working on my swing, all that sort of stuff. But the chase, I love the chase. I love the game.
I can tell. And I think that's obviously a massive reason why you've done so well. And I think it's important to just give you like a little like well done, man. Like, I knew it anyway. From the first time I spoke to you, me and Dan said it from the first time. I swear we walked away and Dan was like, he's gonna fucking smash it, you know. And I was like, I know. Well, good, because he's a nice guy as well. If he was an absolute prick, mate.
I actually see you next Tuesday. We're like, flipping out this bastard, you know?
No, so well, and one other thing I want to ask that I know you mentioned the other day, you went to an award thing, and I was confused as to how you didn't win.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you should have won?
To the run up, I'll be honest with you. I thought I would have had it because of the amount of output. I know my output is unhealthy at times, and that's me being honest. Do you know what I'm saying? So then I thought, like, in terms of, like, I can't see who goes hard. If I saw someone go harder, oh my God, the chase would double. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. My missus would be like, babe, you're not sleeping. I'm like, I know I'm not sleeping. It's coffee. That's what it is now. I got a challenge. This is guys. His name's, Christopher, whatever. He's going ham. So I've got to go ham. Do you know what I mean? I got a hammer. Yeah, I got to go. Somehow I've got to go.
I get it. I was shocked when he said, I didn't win. I was like, what? I don't see what you could enter that you won't win at the minute.
I didn't win. But to be honest with you, Dave, like I said on another podcast, I was actually happy I didn't win. At first, I wasn't. I was gutted for like the first, 48 hours. I was thinking, Jesus, man. And there was a point I was a bit not for six as well. I was a bit like, wow, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just working hard. I'm doing loads, but it's not amounting to anything. Once again, when I feel like that, go and look at your CRM, go and look at your bank account. Like it is, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
that's the real indicator.
That's the real indicator. Do you know what I mean? I'm able to support my family. I'm able to, I'm able to do things that I could never have done 5 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but in those times, you don't think about those things. The things that you should be looking at and the things that you should be focusing on, you actually don't. And so I was just in my head at the time, like, maybe you're not this, maybe. And then a part of you starts to say, maybe you're not, maybe. Oh, okay, wow.
I don't want to touch on it too much. I don't want to get myself in trouble. But like, so you think that based on a couple of the opinions of what, three guys? What? Who's do you know? You know what I'm getting at here? It's
no,
like,
100%. No, I know what you're getting at.
The opinion of all the clients that have booked you and left you positive reviews.
Thank you. But because when you first get it, that's why I said 24, 48 hours. I'm not thinking about the guys that was voting me. And there's a chance that if I saw who the guys were that were voting me, I might be like, so you're voting me. Do you know what I mean? There might be an element of that.
We can. You know,
that's enough.
You know what I'm saying?
That's enough for conversation.
All I would say, we had one of those things. I think after like 18 months of being in business, never entered one since, mate. So
really,
where I'm awardless. Do you know what? I give out awards. If I see a photographer I like, I give her a little award, and I say, "Oh, you got the award for the nicest shoes on today." I just give out awards, mate. So I'll give you an award now. You can put it on your website. I'll do a little design.
I'm an award-winning DJ. For fuck's sake,
the day stamp of approval. It's big in the game, mate. So you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I think you should have won. You're a winner in my eyes, mate.
I appreciate that, my man. I fully appreciate that. But yeah, just to quickly end on it, I don't think it was a bad thing because once again, it's put another fuel in my tank. And once again, I love the game. Do you know what I mean? So losing is like, it's like someone who's been going gym for the whole 2 years.
You didn't lose, mate. You just didn't win.
Yeah, I just didn't win. I didn't win. So it's like someone who's been, I don't know, racing track or going gym or doing something for ages, and then they enter something and they didn't win. And there'll be some. There's two approaches. So I've taken the approach of I didn't win. All right, cool. I need to work on my tires. I need to work on my. I need to. And I think I was looking at I was thinking, where can my business improve? And I'm thinking the back end, the business. Maybe there's some things that I'm maybe there is, Dave. No one's perfect. Maybe not. That is another thing. Thing. Maybe not.
Trying to find fault where there is none sometimes is a fool's errand, isn't it?
That's true.
But
that is
it's
true.
important, as you say, like always having the intention to improve is a big deal.
Yeah, improve yourself, work on yourself, and maybe that has made me just like, even though there might not be lots of improvement, but my head is still like fine comb looking for stuff. Yep, that can be improved. Yep, that can be improved. Yep, that can be improved. So I think it's rocketed that in that sense, and I'm gonna go again this year. I'm actually gonna go again this year. What one is it? What is it? The wedding industry awards. There's Tuya, the wedding industry awards.
Is it just for Essex or is it the whole of the UK?
No, it's the whole of the UK. It's the whole. It's the whole of the UK.
Just for that, we might enter it this year and see what happens.
Enter it, Dave. Come on, enter it, man. Enter it.
No. Look, never say never. But
never say never.
Look, I'm very much a believer of the people that booked us have paid their good money. They're more than entitled to leave a review on our Google page. That's enough for me.
That's enough. No, 100%. Because like
that's
the client feedback,
more than a stamp for me.
It's worth more than a trophy. And all them. That is the award. The award is obviously the feedback that you get from the clients, especially when you're reading multiple feedback. And you're like, wow, man, this isn't something that I'm like, I do this. You know, when sometimes you need to be told by other people that have used your services. They say, I've booked DJs before. And when the venues or other people that work with other DJs, like photographers, they're like, I've been for 5 years.
And plus, after this conversation, I ain't winning fuck all, mate. So there's no point in it. Oh, so no chance, absolutely no chance. So, yeah, I'll just come and get a participation medal or something. I don't know.
Participation award.
Or just cheer you on, like, yeah, go on. Who knows? You can make me your +1. Bring me along, mate. I'll come.
Yeah, I'll bring you along. So when it doesn't happen, I'm like, Dave's gonna be like, it's rigged.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe
God. Anyway, Dave, man, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you.
It's been really, really good,
thank you for having me on, mate. It's been a pleasure.
just want to let the guys know. Head over to the description or the show notes in this to give Dave a follow. And like I was saying, one of the things I think DJ should definitely check out is his uniqueness, his styling. I don't believe in copying, guys. I like for you to go over there and get some inspiration on some things that you can add to your setup or what you've got going on and be like, oh, that's kind of cool. I can change it up. And these things I think can definitely help your business because it helps you stand out. It helps you be different. It helps you be, when someone comes and finds you or your page or what you're doing, they look at it and they're a bit more like, oh, wow, this is different. And that's always a good thing in business, guys. So make sure you go over, have a little look-see and see maybe, well, you know, what changes can you make to your thing? What other little things can you add to make you maybe be a bit different? Because I think what definitely needs to change in our industry is DJs all looking the same, all buying the same stuff. You can buy something and change it, guys. You can buy something and make a color change, a shape change.
Or break it and have to buy it again.
Or break it and have to buy it again. But hopefully in the break-in, you've learned something, which if you do buy it again and you edit, you might do it better.
Always a learning process, mate.
Always a learn. There's always
a positive to be taken out of life.
Always.
You know what I mean? So yeah. But that was very professional, and thank you for having me again.
No problem, man. Well, guys, the same place, same time, same place next week. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. Make sure you give us a follow on all the socials. Give us a review on the Apples and the Spotify's. There's a place where you can leave a star, review, like. Do that stuff, guys. If you do like it, because we're giving you stuff to help your business, and if it's helping you, then make sure you like it so we'll continue to do this, man. Other than that, man, Dave, thank you so much for your time, my bro.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. I'll see you soon.
See you soon, man. And guys, we'll catch you again next week, man. Have a good week and peace.